Started my new recording now. New recording has been started.
That's a great song.
It's gonna be our new intro.
Welcome back, everybody, to Brainstorm Brewery. This week, we're going to talk about how Magic is dying in the wake of Hasbro's second quarter earnings report.
D.
Yeah, dead. No shoes. Shoes came off. No,
Why do we say welcome back? Do we assume that everyone's heard this podcast before and there's no
I would
way
assume that it makes the people who are new feel comfortable and feel at home, but it makes all the people who are coming back also feel comfortable. It's good like that.
I don't know, because if you say welcome back to someone that's never listened to the podcast before, they're like, I'll never catch up. They just launched right into it. They didn't say, hey, my name's Corbin. This is an MTG Finance podcast.
There's too many cat presidents. There's too many cookies being clicked.
We might say the F word. Don't listen to this in the car with your kid. Unless you want your kid to say the F word, some people want that. Like, if my kid started saying the F word, my wife would think it was me, and I'd be like, "Nah, she listened to a podcast," and she'd be like, "You're off the hook this time, mister." So that's what I would want. I would want to be able to blame us. Okay. So $5 patrons and up, we will be the one to teach your kid the F word.
There you go. That is a nice perk.
I'll do it.
That's worth paying for. I'm going to become a patron of our own cast now.
I'll do it. The Corbin and
actually,
Corbin DJ don't want to do that.
Ben's going to gain a new word in his arsenal of not falling asleep.
He knows it. He knows it.
What? How?
We were at the park.
He doesn't
today,
know how to
man.
say anything. He doesn't know his own name, and he can say fuck.
What? He talks a lot.
We heard him talk. He was babbling.
We were at the park today, and the thing is, he likes to say fire truck, but it usually comes out firefuck. I've told this story before. Only today, he just decided for whatever reason that he wanted to scream out truck because he saw one in the parking lot, which came out fuck as we're walking around the park. You know, a bunch of kids playing on the playground, a bunch of families doing family shit, whatever, and he's just screaming fuck at the top of his lungs. So that was pretty fun.
That's just good parenting.
Yeah, right? It felt good. Marianne was a little embarrassed, and I was just like, nah, this is good.
He's actually trying to say pig trucker. Really,
I don't get it.
That lady's a fat truck. That's what he's trying to say. Go truck yourself.
Back to the intro. Wizards/Hasbro released their second quarter earnings report for 2018. So there are a few important things to mention. I look at these every quarter, and most of us do. Just kind of gives you It's because I tell you. It just gives you a little check-in on how Magic is doing when they, read the conference call specifically. Well, I heard that there was $40 million increase year over year. They specifically call out Magic multiple times. They say Dominaria was really good, as well as this is quoting now, a double-digit increase in new players year over year. You hear that, guys?
We got 10 new players. Woo! We done did it.
I think what this speaks to is how popular Dominaria was.
Holy truck, that's a lot of new players.
Yeah. That's man, if you divide that up amongst all the game stores. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's good to hear. We've had a few years of, middling growth or no growth, where the game is continuing to do well, but this is the United States where they're based, right? If you're not growing at a double-digit clip every quarter, you're basically failing as a company, in the way the markets and the narrative goes in the United States. But, so this is really good to see an actual up year, and it makes sense. We saw it with Dominaria with everything being sold out. Seems they brought a lot of players back, got a lot of players in. It's really good. Now, obviously, what this sets up for is a year from now, if assuming whatever they release then isn't Dominaria, you're going to have a little bit of a drop and people are going to say the sky's falling, blah, blah, blah. Unless they continue to keep growing. We'll see with Magic Arena and all that. But anyways, if you're interested for that sort of, high level sort of discussion, yeah, Magic Did very well in the second quarter, despite Toys R Us closing, which is something they mention a lot as being damaging to the brand.
Which is
Hasbro specifically.
Yeah, or how much they were selling at Toys R Us, but
yeah, I don't think it matters a ton for Magic. I think anybody who bought Magic at Toys R Us is just going to buy it at Target or Walmart
or Amazon. Like everybody buys everything.
Yeah. I mean,
got to get more of those cars into space and get all those rich people richer.
All right, so moving on. I think the point there is Hasbro doing well. That's good for all of us. Good for Hasbro, good for Magic, despite Toys R Us dying.
A good set is good for Magic, and a good set gets Hasbro off WotC's back. Because
I remember what I was going to talk about now. Go ahead. I'll bring it up
there's like a boardroom with like 8 dudes from WotC, and there's just one dude there from Hasbro, half paying attention, just on his Bluetooth, BlackBerry? I don't know. Like, what is a douchebag? He probably has a Bluetooth headset and a BlackBerry, probably. He's just in their meeting, just like, listen to him talk about, like, the design stuff they want to push. He's like, oh, yeah, you got to get growth up 23%. And they're like, what? It's like, I know, why don't you sell more boxes at stores? I don't know, whatever. And then he just leaves. And they're like, well, I guess we got to hit a 23% growth target or we all lose our jobs. Cool. Thanks, Hasbro. Hasbro. I don't even mean...
Yeah. No, I was going to say that we were on the topic of Toys R Us, and someone said something. Toys R Us, by the way, was a profitable business.
Do you want to talk about vulture capitalism? Because that's another podcast.
That is where we were going there. That's what? Good for the podcast?
No, that's another. That's
an after hours rant waiting to happen.
You're probably right.
Because the same thing happened to Blockbuster.
Is that true?
Yeah. The same thing where a company just bought them up and leveraged their real estate holdings to make a bunch of risky bets that didn't pay off, and then they're like, well, you got to sell all your locations. You can say
that's not even what happened necessarily. It's the same idea, I guess, but that's not what happened to like Toys R Us was profitable once they cut out the stores that weren't doing well, but what they couldn't do was keep up with the debt payments for themselves to the company that bought them. Like they got bought by whatever group, and then as part their new balance sheet, they had to pay off the debt of their own purchase, and they weren't making enough money for this company to be happy with, despite the fact that year over year the Toys R Us made money, and they just get shut down because of that. Yeah. Something late stage capitalism, where even making money isn't good enough.
Well, we're almost done, right? Like, this time next year, we'll be exchanging Magic cards for, like, leaves and twigs. So I'm really looking forward to the total collapse of fiat currency, a world war over water supply, and,
blue coins are going to be mooning. Elon Musk cars with moons.
All right, hold up, guys. This is going to be particularly relevant in this new world you're talking about. I have a foil game day, full art, Russian Silver Girl Adept.
Ooh.
Okay.
What do you think having something in the mother language goes for in this new post-apocalyptic world where Putin rules everything? Do you think it's worth like?
I think you get 2 stray dogs.
2 stray dogs?
Yeah.
That's a lot of protein.
No, off of you. You get 2 of the stray dogs biting you off of you for one.
Oh, 2 stray dogs, man. That's a lot of protein for a couple foil Silver Girl Russian adepts.
You'd think so, but the dogs are starving, and that's why they're biting people.
Well, yeah.
Can you imagine man's best friend turning against you, just like with a single tear coming out of his eyes? Like, sorry, man, you look really juicy.
That's when it's all over. That's when you just let it end. Because even in all the post-apocalyptic movies, like I Am Legend, for instance, they've always got the dog. The dog's always on their side. Yeah. If the dog ever turns against you, it's over.
Well, that was based on
reality. Like, that's based on next year.
Yeah,
it was based on the story
Science,
of Mega Man, which is a movie starring Charlton Heston, and then
which has
related to a movie called A Boy and His Dog, which was another post-apocalyptic thing. So there's got to be a dog. You know what you know what you never see in a post-apocalyptic, like, the kid is clearly slowing the guy down, right? And he's running slower because of the kid, but you never see him just trip his wife so that he can get away with the kid because he's slower. Nobody ever thinks to trip their wife. I don't understand.
What? Okay, you want them to trip the wife? Why?
Wait.
So you can get away with the kid.
But the kid's
why not just leave the kid behind?
Yeah.
Why would you leave the kid behind?
Why would you leave your wife behind? Oh, that's an easy question. It's Jason. I imagine, Jason, you have to more worry about your wife leaving you behind.
I can run faster than her, though.
She would trip you immediately.
That's true. I would find out she sold me.
Well, no, Jason.
You'll be ready to leave, and she'll be like, "I already took care of it, honey. You're staying here."
Jason can run faster because the flames on his shirt.
That. No one got that reference, DJ. They all started listening last week.
Welcome back.
The flame shirt.
Are they going to talk about magic at any point? No.
The flame shirt is like a +4, and then the Crocs are only a -2, so it's still a plus.
The Crocs. Jason, tell me you own Crocs.
We bought Flamin' Crocs as part of the Gay Fairy ensemble.
I forgot about that.
And here is the part where I have to decide whether I want to pretend I don't wear them. Because I would never buy Crocs, but as a Croc owner, I'm like, they're kind of useful. Real easy to slip on, real easy to slip off. I can see why Mario Batali's all about them. I see the appeal. And plus mine look better than Mario Batali's because they look like they would be Guy Fieri's Crocs. Because I got flames on them.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm happy for me too because I got comfortable footwear when I go outside.
I'm happy for our patrons who got to see that. That's what I'm happy for. And they're going to get to see us eat some chips because we bought the chips.
I am mailing those out to you guys tomorrow.
So what he's referring to is the fact that when we got our Patreon over $1,500 per month at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, our goal for $1,500 was we were going to do the one chip challenge where
I'm showing the camera my chip coffin.
Yeah, they are Carolina Reaper powder chips. It's one chip, but it's something like 1,000,000 Scoville. So it's so hot. Like I watched clips of news anchors like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the one chip challenge. I like spicy food, so this should be And then he like vomits. And then he gets diarrhea and starts screaming.
It is
in
funny
like a
watching,
language he doesn't speak.
Watching
like his
people
hair
do it on live
white,
TV.
It's the worst. Yeah.
Well, it's like the thing is, reality. Those people just showed up for work. Some producer thought it would be a great idea. Put it in the rundown for the night. Got their basic, oh sure, spicy food, I'm in, whatever. And those guys, they just have no idea what they're getting into.
Yeah, but like as a dude who was studying and pulling like 20-hour weeks in the lab, seeing communication majors party constantly, like that was just a tiny bit of comeuppance for me. I get to see.
Look,
it's like, you'll get yours in the end because you won't be screaming and crying and pooping your pants, eating a hot chip. But then, cut to 8 years later, turns out you can't escape the wheel of karma. So
me, the communications major, and you, the failed chemist, are both going to be crying the same.
I failed. That's harsh. I could go back to work tomorrow.
DJ's a failed freshman.
If you count like grad school.
Did you drop out your freshman year? Yes.
You know, when DJ was young, he knew everything.
Anyways,
I dropped out my 5th year.
Sure you did, buddy. In my defense, as a communications major who partied all the time, there's really no defense.
Sometimes you got injured by light poles.
That's true.
This is episode 300. All we're doing is just talking about the last 299 episodes.
Anyways, let's do some Breaking Bulk. There's a lot to talk about this week. Commander 2018.
Oh, do we have to?
Breaking Bulk.
Breaking Bulk time. Breaking Bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, Breaking Bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking Bulk. The end.
Mirage Artifact Uncommon.
Mirage Artifact
Uncommon. What do you
Uncommon.
want from us, DJ? No one knows what it is.
3
I
reprints. 3 reprints. Mirage Artifact Uncommon, 3 reprints.
3 reprints? Oh, boy.
What are the reprints?
7th edition?
Yeah, that's going to give it away if I say
6th edition? Oh, is it an idol?
No.
Okay. Is it... what was the Mirage?
It has been increasing in price over the past few months.
Mirage Uncommon, you said?
Yes.
Artifact?
Yeah.
Boy, I can't...
What the hell is in Mirage?
Not a lot. Just a lot of like $5, $6 cards that are just really weird.
The most recent printing of this card is in a commander deck, and it is worth a lot of money.
Oh. The deck is or the card is?
The card. And by a lot, I mean like over $1 for Breaking Bulk pick.
Oh. Wait. Is it a diamond?
Ooh.
Is it a diamond?
Is it the blue one, green one? They've both been reprinted, right?
The green one's hot garbage.
Ruby medallion?
Medallions are a completely different cycle diamond. From like Tempest, so...
It's fire diamond, marble diamond, sky diamond, charcoal diamond. And
yes, it is sky diamond.
I was just trying to name them all. I wanted people to think I was cool because I started playing in '96 because they're like, was it the Ruby medallion?
No, Corbin's the one trying to name like $8 rares.
No. I got the cycles mixed up, but I have seen a lot of those sky diamonds floating around.
Sky, moss, charcoal, marble?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sky Diamond is generally the most expensive and the easiest one to sell on TCG Player as the Commander 2014 version, because number one, it is the blue one, so blue doesn't get ramp spells, which is why Sapphire Medallion and Ruby Medallion are both the best in that cycle. The green one's kind of useless just because you get mana dorks and ramp spells. The Commander version specifically is more expensive than the Mirage or the 6th or 7th ones, partially because of the new border, and it makes people like newer players are going to like the new border more, and partially just because of search engine optimization. So when like super casual dirtles are like, Commander deck blue card, go, and like the Commander version of Sky Diamond pops up more often, which encourages them to buy it more as opposed to the Mirage one.
Plus it's just not ugly.
I mean, the 7th one's gorgeous too, but it's white border.
Give me Mirage or give me nothing.
So the Commander version is like $1.50 or so. All the other ones are under $1, but they have been going up because just popularity of Commander, and because 2-mana rocks that make colored mana are relatively hard to find outside. Once you get past like the Felwar Stone and the Signets and everything, like
I mean, I feel like you get some like you get Commander Sphere and Darksteel Ingot and stuff like that. So like, if you want to pay the 3, but some people really just want a 2-mana rock.
Yeah.
Speaking of mana rocks, can't wait for these Commander 2018 talk. One of the cards we're going to talk about.
People still play. They still play Felwar Stone. So
yeah,
Felwar Stone's the best one.
It's pretty good because it comes into play untapped. I heard that's pretty relevant.
And it basically makes any color if you're sitting at a 4-person table.
DJ will probably get this. I want to see if Corbin.
Okay, I'll sit out. If I get it, I'll sit out.
Future Sight Black Uncommon Creature.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I know it.
Did you say a color?
He said
black uncommon creature from Future Sight. Is it the shadow?
Yeah, it has shadow.
Yeah, I know what this is.
Is it the thing that makes people? I don't know. I can think of a couple cards, but I can't. Name them.
It does. In fact,
it makes people discard.
It does.
I don't remember what it's called though. Is it Scrib Nibblers or something?
No, Scrib Nibblers was from like World Wake
card.
See, like I said, I told you I don't remember the name.
The top card of their deck.
I said, I told you I don't remember the name of the card.
Well, Shadow should be a clue that you want to hit them with it. Whenever
Stronghold
I get
rats, it because I looked at this for my most recent Commander deck.
But deals combat to a player. Each player discards a card. So even if you hit anybody, everyone discards, including you.
The reason I cut it out of my discard deck is because I didn't want it to hit myself. But yes, I did know this card.
That's why you didn't say it. Cool.
I told you what it did. I just remember what it's called.
What? You said it's the...
I said I called the effect, man.
So what happened this week, I think it's probably Rat Colony that did this, and maybe
Nicol Bolas?
Zone's Game Nights or whatever. Marrow Gnawer became the number 1 mono black deck on EDH Rec. It was up from number 2 a couple weeks ago. It's up to number 1 this week, which surprised everybody. Because every once in a while, like, I'm in the EDH Rec Slack group, and we're like, for real, this happened? So, like, it just happened this week. All the rats are... Some of them are surprising, you know? Like, Chittering Rats is,
that one's like a big pauper card.
That helps, too. But even, like, uncommons like Nezumi Grave Robber and Nezumi Shortfang and stuff like that. Ichor Rats are... money. Like, every rat is a pick just about.
Yeah, very small aside, if you want to go into like nickels and 3-cent crap like I do, every 1-mana death touch card is a pick.
Because
Like your
a lot of
typhoid
those
rats
are
and so on.
Yeah, like every Typhoid Rats, Pyreka's Chosen, there's a green one, it's the Wasteland Viper, I think. Like every card, if it's 1 mana and it says Death Touch on it, it's a pick.
But what's great about that in the rat deck is you play your Rancid Rats and you play your Typhoid Rats. Thornbite Staff does a ton of work in that deck because you have so many Death Touchers, you just pay 2 mana, kill a creature at will. So, you get the what's the rat where you pay X?
Crypt Rats, that's a big pauper one, is Crypt Rats.
Crypt Rats has been a pauper card since before pauper was a format, just about. Like that was one of those where it's like,
much.
why is Crypt Rats 50 cents? You know, that's gotten multiple reprints. It's still hanging on in there.
It's by multiple reprints. It's like Vision 6th and 7th or something like that. Or like Vision 7th and 9th, I think. Like that card's basically just been printed 0.5 times in modern speak.
Well, actually, it was just Visions and 7th.
Does it not have a third?
It was that really weird set with that like gray expansion symbol that looks like the Run the Jewels album cover.
What?
Have you seen that? There's like they're really hard to find. It's
are you
like
talking?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the thing where you can get like white border Kamigawa cards?
Yeah. That was the only other time that got reprinted. So that's what I was thinking of when I said multiple reprints. I forgot that it was just Vision 7th, and then they did a whole bunch of weird. They did like a weird rat deck.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. And they're all in like Italian, and if you post them on like a Facebook group asking like $80 for a comment, everybody's like, why are you doing that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All right, I've got one for you guys here, and this is a rare, it's a mythic actually.
Is it a rare or a mythic?
Well, I'm saying it's not a typical Breaking Bulk pick. It is, however, a mythic that I find in bulk, probably more than any other card that costs as much as it costs, which is $3. Okay, so it is a Innistrad mythic that is an artifact.
Grimoire of the Dead.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's probably literally the only.
I think it's the only mythic artifact.
That's fine. I'm not. It's more about talking about it than getting you guys to guess it or not.
People give you that in bulk.
Yeah, man. Look, no one knows what this card does. You look at it and you're just like, oh, it's got 1 billion words on it. It's got to be trash. Discard cards is horrible.
I don't know what it does. I just realized that. I was like, when would anybody?
Well, it's discard 3, and then you get like a mass reanimation.
But it's a 4 mana artifact, 1 mana tap, discard a card, put a study counter on it. If you have 3 study counters on it, you can tap it and sacrifice it and rise from the Dark Realms. Get all creatures under all graveyards. So that's obviously why it's worth. But I mean, a lot of people don't play it. Obviously, you have to discard 3 cards before you get so blown out to any sort of bounce or removal, but it is worth $3. And, it's one of those cards that's worth money because it's an Innistrad mythic, and it is good enough in Commander that it's worth money, but not so good that everyone knows about it. So, I actually do get this in bulk a fair amount.
You want to know 2 other cards that fit into that exact same category?
All right.
Elbrus the Binding Blade.
Yep.
And Ring of 3 Wishes.
Wasn't Elbrus Binding Blade in the FTV, though?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's still good. Yeah, Rise of the Dark Realms. Rise of the Eldrazi is great for that entire. I mean, there's just a low turn compared to.
You're like walking away from your microphone right now. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was putting up my Breaking Bulk pick.
Also, like, where did you get Rise of the Eldrazi from?
Isn't that what Elbrus is? Oh, it's from Dark Ascension, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a flip
Dark
chart.
Ascension was the set that was out when we started this podcast.
Same. Well, I was one set off. My bad.
Dark Ascension was the newest
Rise of the Eldrazi was like 2 years off.
Battle for Zendikar. What was the? Oh, Avacyn Restored. That's what I meant to say.
Avacyn Restored came out after we started the cast.
Yeah.
Corbin's
so Dark
really
Ascension
good with sets.
I guess I'm just getting old. I just can't remember these sets anymore.
It's been 6 years since we started this cast. 6 years.
I used to, and the thing is, when I'm working too, you talk to me about cards that are actually played. I'm so good at when people name an effect or tell them what the card is because I have to type up deck lists, right? But man, I just lose when it comes to random cards like this. I know them all by sight, but pulling their names out of nowhere is a lot harder than it used to be. I guess I'm just old.
Dude, I couldn't think of the name of Sean Tabaras, a guy I know, on an episode of this podcast, so don't worry about it.
It happens. Anyways, all right, let's talk about what we actually want to talk about. Commander 2018.
That's Commander 2019, right? Because it came out after M19? So it's Monday. We don't know much. They gave us some of the Saheeli stuff. Some cockwagon spoiled all 4 of the Planeswalkers, which wasn't cool.
That's pretty
because we just have grainy cell phone pics of them. Not cool.
It's just why. I mean, they're going to get spoiled so quickly anyways. All you did was ruin it for somebody.
But what do you get out of it? Because, like, you're not going to get any notoriety from it. Because, like, if anybody's, like... It's like, oh, come to my site. They're going to shit on your site.
Yeah,
legally.
I don't understand why anybody ever spoils cards like this.
And, like, sometimes it's the fact that they don't know magic.
It's like going into the mall when kids are in line to go see Santa, being like, Santa isn't real. That's a guy in a suit.
Yeah, it's exactly like, what do you gain from this? You're a rando person out in the world. For all we know, it's a listener. For all we know, it's a patron. It was just like, I saw these in the back of my LGS or whatever.
I know which patron it is.
Oh, God.
You son of a bitch.
I just don't understand.
For some leaks, it makes sense because they're probably not Magic players. Like the Ixalan leak sheet is probably just like somebody who wasn't a Magic player. But this is somebody
Julian
who like
Assange.
they waited till the day that they were going to get previewed anyway. And then
not 04. I think they were going to preview one a day.
Oh, no, you're right.
Saheeli
was going to come out today, and then the others were like 3 days early or whatever. 2 or 3
here's
days.
Brutaclad, here's Thanos.
Yeah, just why? That's all. That's all I have to say. Just why?
Here's a really bad Gilded Lotus. Here's Varchild. I don't know. I like the stuff they spoiled on Monday.
I do
talk about the stuff from Tuesday. We don't know the stuff from Tuesday.
I like this Planeswalker though. The Esper one.
I like all of them. Aminato, the Fate Shifter.
I mean, it seems better. This one seems the best to me because it costs 3 mana.
As opposed to 4 mana and having a relevant ultimate? Okay.
Well,
you never want to use the ultimate on this card. You just, like, blink Felidar Guardian and then go infinite or whatever.
With which one are you talking about?
With the Esper one, you can, like, if you have Alter the Brood and, like, Felidar Guardian, you just, like, Saheeli combo them and...
Yeah, it certainly goes infinite with Saheeli.
No, everybody.
Yeah, or with Felidar Guardian, but...
Well,
it also sets up
Felidar Guardian's
miracles.
white, so you... Oh... Well, Estrid goes infinite with the Chain Veil, so hope you got your Chain Veils when I told you to buy them at 75 cents 3 years ago. So they're $18 now.
It was longer ago than that, right?
I don't think so.
It was 4 years ago because Corset 2015 came out in 2014.
Oh my god!
I had a huge stack of those too. That one it's such an easy call.
Yeah, it's a unique effect. I mean, it popped when anytime there was like a reason to play Super Friends, which is any excuse they'll give people. It combo the Chain Veil combo with Teferi.
Right, you're gonna have to explain. You're gonna have to explain what is.
Are you trying to figure out how the Chain Veil combo works?
No, is token armor that... What is token armor?
Totem armor is a mechanic from Rise of the Eldrazi, which...
See, that's the problem. Listen that's the problem with the grainy cell phone photo.
I'm actually reading Mythic Spoiler, and that's what they have typed in, is token armor. And I was so confused.
Oh, it does say token armor.
I was so confused.
I vouched for you, Mythic Spoiler. Remember when you said that Thoughtseize was Mythic and Theros, and I had your back. You made me look like an asshole. I still love you, Mythic Spoiler. You're still my go-to.
Well, they definitely just confused me with that shirt here.
Let's never quarrel. Yeah, it's because it says token in the sentence right before it. The token is totem armor.
Yeah.
Also,
but the token is an artifact you can, or an enchantment you can sacrifice, which I think is cool.
Ristic Studies had the most incredible preview video for Taunos and blew everything out of the water, so that was really cool. Shout out to him.
Yeah. All right.
He was my shoulder to cry on when I told him EDH Rick.
All right. So let's talk about what else we like here. I'll say that we're working with very little here, but what I do like is so Loyal Drake. It's just a 3 mana 2/2 flyer, but at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control your commander, you draw a card. Sorry, at the beginning of combat, if you control your commander, you draw a card. So I love Lieutenant making a comeback simply because these will be breaking bulks.
Yes,
we talked about all the Lieutenant cards in the past being worth money. Loyal Drake is going to be a great breaking bulk a year from now.
Because it's uncommon.
Is it? Because I feel like it's just going to run into a bunch of 6/6s with its woes. Nobody? All right. I tried.
I'm a huge fan of Treasure Nabber. This is the coolest commander card I've seen in years.
So the red decks are getting a bunch of just
this card is
really
so
mean
stupid.
garbage. Because you have Enchanter's Bane. It's like, oh, these decks have to have game against each other, and red-based decks, like, I'm assuming this is in the Jund deck. It's like, what can a Jund deck do against Estrid?
Well, they said
Enchanter's Bane.
They said they're previewing the cards for specific decks. So, like, this card is probably...
so that must be in Saheeli then.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Whenever an opponent taps an artifact for mana, gain control of that artifact until the end of your next turn. 3 mana.
That's vintage playable.
That's their way to ban mana
That
crypts.
probably is vintage. Probably.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying vintage players have like.
No, I'm just.
Oh, yeah.
Follow a few vintage. If you follow one vintage player, follow Kevin Crone from So Many Insane Plays, and follow Menendian while you're at it too. But like Nat Mose is a good guy to follow. Just go to Twitter and see who I'm following vintage wise. Like just having people that play formats you know nothing about and the stuff they say. If a vintage player is interested in a card, like.
This card
sometimes
is just
it's a
cool.
Slash Panther, but sometimes it's a Leovold. And they see some shit coming.
This art is this little goblin holding up a soul ring, too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this card is so good. I mean, everybody plays Mana Rocks. Everyone plays Infinite Mana Rocks. And now you just get them. You get them. You don't even. The beauty of the card is you actually only sort of get them, right? Because they get it back by their turn.
No, jam a KCI.
Krark Clan Arborg's fire.
Yeah, just throw them in the fire.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's gonna be sick. This card's. I just love that it punishes.
Blue steals, red threatens and sacks. That's what red does.
It punishes like one of the areas of Commander that is almost never touched.
Yeah.
Which is the mana rock.
This card scares me.
We have Vandal Blasts, right? Or you can do other similar things, right? But just in general, almost no design space or counterplay space or anything is ever devoted to mana rocks. It's just sort of this thing where everyone has them, and now you kill them when you can, whatever, right? But you don't really
because that's like that's how every other color catches up to green. Green's like, I have 5 basic lands on turn 2. You're like, I have a charcoal diamond. Oh, cool! Give me that charcoal diamond. No, I need it. So, that's how the other colors that aren't green catch up to green's ramping. And like when you screw with that, it's sort of like, why would I play not
this
red
is
green?
This is just a card that when I see it played. Unlike a lot of the new Commander stuff comes out and it's a big creature, it does this, they do cool effects or whatever, right? But they don't ever feel like they fundamentally change, to me at least. You'll have new decks, whatever, but like you just never have a fundamental shift in Commander really because it's just a format that exists with so many cards, etc. Yep. But this card hitting play, this just completely changes how you're going to play the game as both players. Like I'm thinking like you can just play this in any deck. I can play this in my Yell deck. Because then I'll get people's mana rocks to cast my big stuff. That's just a value play, not even talking about taking and sacrificing them. So
especially if you're taking something like a Dreamstone Hedron or,
Oh yeah, like a Mind Stone or
Coveted
just
Jewel. Yeah, something you can. A Commander Sphere. It's like they're
Commander
not getting
Sphere,
that
they
back.
can like sack it.
They'll just sack it. But then you force them to sack it. Like
sack it or I will.
This card is just great. I love it. So we don't have a ton of spoilers out today. Obviously, it's Monday for us. The new land is cool.
But we know all the Planeswalkers, so we can kind of talk about some of the stuff that we might expect to
well, what do you on that note? Then, what do you think, Jason? What are you most excited about moving up financially?
Well, the thing about Estrid is, I think the only thing that it really like everyone was speculating on the Chainveil anyway. Estrid, I'm looking at like the Bant Enchantress list, and everything's already over $20, or like. It's never going to be over $1. It's real weird like that. But I think Estrid's my favorite because I think all 3 of those abilities are dumb. Like, we kind of thought there would be a new Replenish spell. It turns out the Replenish is her ultimate, but they added a Draw 7 to it for some reason, so that's cool. You can go infinite with the Chain Veil if you have like a land with Overgrowth. Because I was already playing Overgrowth, Utopia Sprawl, Wild Growth, all that crap. So if you have enough lands that are enchanted, you don't have to put her stupid mass counters on your mana rocks, and you can just concentrate on going off with Chain Veil infinitely and draw your whole deck, I guess, and then kill him with Helix Pinnacle or something. Aminatou or Aminatou.
Sure.
I want my Black Miracle.
I'm not too excited about. I don't like the ultimate, but
I love putting miracles on top of your deck, man.
Yeah, I don't think this is a card you never want to ult it. The first two abilities are just good.
Well, you like you said,
and so it's the second ability.
That's what I said.
They said they would push the power level, and it looks like there is a decent combo in two of these. That's pretty easy to get. So, like, I really like. This is already. It's like a better Venser almost.
This card's a competitive EDH commander.
I think so. Yeah.
People are gonna play this with like you're gonna like Vampiric Tutor for Felidar Guardian and all that garbage.
For the 20 people who play that format and the 12 of them who send us angry emails, I'm sure it's great for them.
Yep. Lord Windgrace seems pretty valuable too.
There's relevance to saying that. Like, there are some.
You're keeping them happy. I like it.
Well, I'm just saying there's this card, just even outside of the competitive like circle, is a card that you might end up sitting at the table with, and people just like aim all the guns at you.
Yeah.
It's like if you sit down with Teferi, you're like, I want to play Mono Blue Dirtle, and then everybody just insta-kills you. Or like, I'm playing Derevi Bird Tribal guys, and then they just like insta-kill you.
They just shit in you. Yeah, I call that the Rafik problem.
Yeah.
In my my series on Gathering Magic, and like Rafik is now the emblem for that. Every week the art is Rafik, just because of that problem, which is like if you sit down with well, I'm Samurai Tribal Rafik, everyone's like, I don't trust you, I'm going to poop in you. So like this is there's gonna be no reason not to build your Aminatou deck super hard, because people are gonna come for you hard, so you might as well be ready for them.
Yeah, like
I hear poop?
What?
Did you say something about poop?
Yeah, and the reason I did is because I had a really good bowel movement today. Because what I did was I went to squattypotty.com/BSB, which is the special coupon code they gave us, and I bought one Squatty Potty for every turlet in my house.
Word there.
What?
Don't you shit on his Patreon pitch. If you're gonna shit, do it
Don't
on a
poop
Squatty
on my
Potty.
coupon.
No. I'm just saying we don't actually like get a discount when they buy it.
They don't know, because they're not going to not use our link. They might be like, wow, they're only $24.99 when I use the coupon code. Why do you gotta... Shut up.
DJ, you're just the worst, man.
Shut up. Why do we even... As soon as Ryan comes back, you're off this cast, man. I'm telling you. So, yeah, go to squattybody.com/BSB. What that does is gives us credit. It's like, hey, look, we're influencers. We're telling people you will have a good BM. You will have an easy time. I don't get all my emails read. People like, hey, you're the content manager at EDH Rec, and it's your job to hire writers. How come you didn't return my emails for 2-3 days? Well, because I email on the toilet, and I'm not spending as much time there anymore, so I'm not getting to all my emails.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So today, sitting on the toilet, I went to squattypotty.com/BSB, and I bought 2 Squatty Potties, and it was such a short transaction that I actually finished in time. And they're coming to my house.
I'll throw this out there. We've been talking about this now for a month. The link expires. Our code goes down at the end of the month. There was a hiccup last week where their systems messed up and it was down for a day or two. I talked to them. We got that fixed. But our coupon code goes out at the end of the month. So if you've been thinking about it, you've been holding off, now's the time to do it, because we have no idea if they're going to come back and want to sponsor us for longer. It was a 1 month
Open up those
deal.
cheeks and just let it all.
Yeah, just let it all slide.
Because as much, like we keep saying, as much as this is a fun meme, we would like them to sponsor us long term, because then we're not sponsored by a store and beholden to their prices. We're not shilling for some magic product that we may or may not believe in. This was just sort of a joke thing at first, but I kind of prefer taking their money to taking money from like some other brand. So everybody poops.
True.
Right?
I
So
believe there is a children's book of that with that title.
Written by a dude named Taro Gomi, who apparently wrote a bunch of other books, but none were as popular. I don't know why I know that. I don't know that guy's name. That's weird, right?
I sure didn't know
I
that.
can't come up with the name of Felwar Stone off the top of my head, but I know Taro Gomi. Anyway, like Taro says, everybody poops. So if you would like to have it hurt less, I guess
we're gonna need them after these chips too.
Oh yeah, it's a good
Anyways,
product,
do it
or
this
I
weekend.
wouldn't talk about it. That's
do it this
basically it.
weekend.
Just use go to
Before the end of July.
Yeah, and that'll give us credit. If you don't want to donate to our Patreon because that's dumb, but you want to help out the podcast, that's a good way to do it. And if you want to help out the podcast for $0, go to facebook.com/Brainstorm Brewery, like us there, follow us on Twitter, retweet our stuff, follow us individually on Twitter. Go to youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery, right?
That's the one.
Yeah, youtube.com/Brainstorm Brewery. Go ahead and subscribe and like our videos. And there's like a bell icon that'll notify you when we publish a new video. I want you to essentially stroke that with your mouse. And then when it least expects it, I want you to finger blast that bell icon.
Wow.
And what that'll do is that'll let you know when we get a new
graphic.
video. Hey, look, man, I've been drinking. So that'll let you know when we publish a new video, because it's not necessarily going to be just the weekly podcast. We have in the pipe a series of Brain Bites, which are going to be short little episodic type deals that are going to give you some evergreen finance tips, like how to ship, how to buy list, online resources we use. We got all kind of stuff planned. So if you want to be notified about that, and you want to watch us on YouTube, because some of us are very telegenic. Yeah, that's the thing you can do. Just this was too long. Some people are like, why are they still? I don't know. This was a rambling pitch.
All right,
I folded
DJ,
too much
hit us
into
with
it.
some-
I apologize.
Jason's struggling. Hit us with something else.
I'm not
DJ.
struggling. I could go for another 10 minutes, talk about what a great brand we are and what we got. We're going to do a one-chip challenge. DJ is going to vomit. And it's all because of our patrons that go to patreon.com/BSB and give us their money. We really appreciate it. And you will appreciate it when you see DJ beg for the sweet release of death.
On that note, Zachary Kehoe, bulk searching. Hey, Brew Crew and DJ, I'm a $20 patron, and I finally started digging through some boxes of bulk that I have lying around my house. I have looked on BIOS to try to help me know which cards to pull, but only some have a few cards. Some only have a few cards. My question was if there is somewhere other than the Breaking Bulk spreadsheet where there is a list of commons and uncommons worth decent amounts, or if there's a certain price point that stores sell a card for, that means I should be pulling the cards for a future BioList sell. For example, if I see a card is worth around 50 cents retail, but I don't see it on BioList, should I be pulling it?
Yes. Right?
Yes. As a general rule.
Yeah, the longer answer here.
Don't bulk anything that's worth that much retail, just because like it could just be like, no, everyone's full in stock, but like when they run out of stock, they're not going to say we want it for 3 cents. They'll be like, we want it for 15, 20 cents if they're selling for 50.
So there's a few things to talk about here. One is what your goals are, right? Because you have to be going through enough cards to really make those 25 and 50 cent cards worth it. Because if you have 20 cards worth 5 cents, that's not really worth your time, right? When you have 200 of them between 5 and 10 cents, well, then you start to get, a little more worth the trip to the post office, right? So yes, you should be keeping those. One, because they might go up, and because if they're 50 cents for a reason, they might go up. You might need them for a deck, all kinds of stuff, even if you're not just flipping them for money. The other part it sounded like to talk about there is where to look on buy lists for stuff. And I think we all use the Card Kingdom buy list as well as the Blueprint by Card Advantage. You can just search for MTG Blueprint online.
Yeah, it's just mtgblueprint.com.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you can subscribe to an email list and download a buy list. And then like the Blueprint will go to everything that's like 3 cents, 3 to 5 cents, which you might not personally need. But it just sort of gives you a good general idea, especially because you can set sort it and just figure out like, oh, these are all the cards in Hour of Devastation that I should be pulling. These are all the cards.
And it's only commons and uncommons.
Correct. And also you can just go to Card Kingdom buy list and sort by set. You can go to Star City buy list and sort by set. Just go to a buy list, sort by set. Eventually you just get a good idea of like these 10 cards are what I want.
Right. Yeah, you can sort of cross-reference all of those to figure it out. And then, sometimes if you think something, if a card's 50 cents and it's not on a buy list, but you think it should be, just keep it. Because it turns out you might be right. They might just be
throw
full.
it in a box. Don't bulk something out just because no one's buying it today. If it's that much retail, like, it's a no-brainer. Like, and the fact that you're asking means you're like, it felt bad for you to be like, do I really just bulk this out?
That, or you just put it in a box and then somebody's like, hey, does anybody have 4 of this insert shitty uncommon, and then you sell a playset for $2, then you're super good at it.
But that happens a couple times a week, ideally.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Next up, DJ.
Question for the crew Patreon member from Mark. Hopefully you're not too busy wiping your butts with hundreds after that squatty potty deal to read this. My question is, does specking on Magic ever get old, tedious, and boring to you guys, or do you still find it fun to figure out and play the market? Set from mobile, across the street from Corbin's house, looking through his windows with binoculars and waiting for him to accept my friend request.
Speculating is the least boring thing I do.
Yep. Corbin said, look, well, this person asked this
5%
question
of what we do, right?
in the Discord channel, and I was going to type up a giant essay, but I didn't have time, and then Corbin answered it, and I was surprised that my answer differed from Corbin's.
Send me a friend request again, I'll accept it. Sorry, that was the most important part of that email. Continue.
Well, I was just letting you talk, because I know this is the question that he asked in the Discord, and then you said that, like, speculating is kind of boring, and you don't really, it's whatever.
Well, for me, it's like, and this is entirely, we talk about this all the time, related to where I am at in my life, right?
Sure.
I don't have a lot of free time. I have a kid. I travel a lot. I have worked like 4 different jobs, blah, 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 blah. The point is, the actual act of hunting down cheap cards for me when I think they're about to spike, and then getting them in, and then figuring out what I'm going to do with them, is something that I don't necessarily do a ton of for fun.
Right.
Now, there are cards that when they come up, I think this is too cheap, I think it's going to go up. I'll just buy 10 or 15 of them on TCG Player, and I'll just put them in my store at home. Because I know that now we have, for instance, I think Guest Grimoire was one we talked about, at some point in the past month. It's like, yeah, I think this is a good pick. I think this is going to move. This seems like a card I want to have. Either we'll sell them on TCG Player with the store, or we'll just have them available for customers. I did that with Aura Shards a while back, too, before it spiked. That's the type of thing when it's a really staple-ish effect that I'm more likely to just buy so that we have them in the store.
Right.
But in terms of just buying cards that then sit in my spec box, I don't really do that because I go through enough cards that if I want to spec on something, I have it to spec on, sort of. Right? Like, Gilded Lotus is one that I like that, I think DJ doesn't, and that's fine, but the point is I'm not going out there and spending money on it. I personally am just taking every Gilded Lotus that comes in through the store that we paid 50 cents on and just putting it in a box to take home with me to stick in a spec box, right? That's how I interact with speculating these days.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that applies to everybody. I still think it's fun, right? I think that picking the cards you like and then following them is fun, and that's why I have a giant spec
so our
box
answer
in
is
front of me,
pretty similar then. That's because that's sort of what I do. Like, I don't.
It's 5% of the money I make, but it's the only fun I have. Everything else is like, man, just fucking send this out, buy list this. It's you're turning a crank and then a nickel pops out.
I mean, like, I genuinely enjoy my job. Like, I genuinely love everything I do. I'm waking up at like 6:30 tomorrow to go buy a collection 2 hours away. Like, I still love it. I'm fully engrossed in Magic. I'm not burnt out. I can work 14, 15-hour days for Magic and love it. But speculating, I'm not really going on TCG and being like, oh, what's that next card? I'm not part of the rat race. I don't want to find the one card that's going to double up because of a C18 card and then drop 50%
Let's buy out
the next
Catacomb
week.
Dragons. It's on the reserve list.
So, like,
it's foolproof.
I still get a big rush when a card that I've been picking for a while jumps. Like River Kelpie was my recent one where I was just like, River Kelpie, I picked up 40 or 50 of them, 50 cents a piece, and anytime anybody saw it in my Marchesa deck, anytime I got the opportunity to talk about that card, I would go on a 20-minute rant about why River Kelpie should not be 50 cents, and then it just took Muldrotha for me to finally be vindicated. That is super fun. And it's just a card I've been picking up for years now, and I was like, yes, I finally win. I'm right about something. Restore Balance is the other one for me. I'm really hoping that Skill Borrower doesn't get hit in the friggin' Esper deck, because that's a card I've just been picking up for years, ever since I got killed by it at an FNM. Like, I there's just certain cards that I'm just like, this is a bulk rare, and it might be $5 one day, and those are the kinds of cards that I get a rush on. That there's so little investment, but that's where the fun is.
Yeah, I agree. Now I'm pretty deep on. I'm holding up the camera right now. I'm pretty deep on From Beyond because we watched the previous From Beyond. If you don't know, it's a 4-mana enchantment. It's devoid green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get a 1/1 Scion. 1 and a green, sacrifice Search From Beyond, search your library for an Eldrazi card, put it in your hand. So we saw Awakening Zone, which was from Rise of the Eldrazi and made 0/1 spawn tokens. We saw that card go absolutely crazy when we went back to Zendikar. For whatever reason, right? People wanted it's also a commander card, etc., etc. The card just went nuts expensive. So I looked at it at the time and I was just like, well, Awakening Zone's now worth, like, I don't remember what it spiked to, $5 or $10 or something off of a buck.
It was like 7 at peak.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking at that, and then I'm looking at From Beyond, which is the same card, except it costs 1 more mana, it makes better spawns, and it has the ability to tutor, and it's bulk rare. And it's just like, Awakening Zone was a bulk rare 6 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was. I'm going to do the same thing. So now I'm in kind of, it was just a decision I made. It wasn't, I just ran some numbers on anything and said, oh, I have to make, that's sort of like it is with, say, Aura Shards or Geskimar. Those sort of things I buy for the store. It's just like, yep, the numbers say I should do this based on what I think is going to happen. But sort of those called shots are what makes speculating fun. And I have a big box that are, cards like that. I was in for a long time on Nihil Spellbombs as a bulk common that I thought might get somewhere, and it did. It topped out at $1. I had a bunch of those. So it's the same way with From Beyonds. And it doesn't always work out. Obviously, I have a bunch of Crucible Fires.
I think everybody has a bunch of, Crucible
Yeah.
of Fire was like the big one that just roasted all of us.
Well, dude, and yeah, because also Dragon Tempest. Because Dragon Tempest is actually an insane card. It's a 2-mana card. I think it says creatures with flying.
It had a 100% chance of getting reprinted in that deck.
I don't think.
And it was in the
But
deck.
like we
Yeah,
were,
but the
we
deck
were buying
didn't
it
exist.
before the deck was
didn't
announced.
exist. Yeah, the deck didn't exist when we were picking it up, Jason. We were just waiting for
it was
Return
like
to Rise of the
2015 or
Tarkir
something
Eldrazi.
like that. And Dragons of Tarkir, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be $5 in a year.
I thought it would just be. I was just like, well, they just did Dragons of Tarkir.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a while, but hey, I bet you they do a Dragon set in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I want to have it, right? But yeah, sure, they then did a Dragon Commander deck and got reprinted, sure. But I'm saying it doesn't always work out, but sometimes it does, and it just feels great. So to answer the question,
and also that card was
it is still
uncommon.
fun.
That card was uncommon in Iconic Masters, which made it feel worse.
Yeah, it was the full-on blowout. So, but From Beyond, by the way, still going strong. We'll get there. Just waiting for the next time Eldrazi come back around. From Beyond's gonna blow up.
Oh yeah.
It's 50 cents right now. It's great. Anyways, all right, next email.
We'll do one more.
All right.
This was
Why do you get to decide how much?
Well, we need to get pick of the week.
because it's
And
almost
after
time
this?
to end this.
Oh, I gotta make a pick of the week too.
Oh my gosh.
Argothian Enchantress foils from Ben Cotty. Hi guys, $10 patron cough. Argothian Enchantress has 1 foil printing, so I like it with the new Commander 18 enchantment deck. How much do EDH players drive foil prices with a chance of reprints in Commander decks in general? Does that make foils a better play? Thanks all.
When did he send this email? Because it's like too late.
2 days ago.
Probably.
No, Argothian
Has
Enchantress.
Argothian Enchantress popped yet?
No, it has not moved.
Enchantress's Presence foil I like. Argothian Enchantress foil I like. The one from M19, the Satyr, that's an uncommon. I don't hate that foil.
How is this not jumped?
I'll say this about Argothian Enchantress too, by the way. The Eternal Masters version bottomed out under $5 about a year ago, and has climbed up to $6 very naturally. The thing is, there's an Eternal Masters version, there's an Urza Saga version, there's a Judge promo. So I would not be at all
there are 2
surprised.
foils.
Oh, there is a Judge promo. That's right.
I would not be surprised to see, though, the Eternal Masters version continue to climb with Arcades. Sorry, not Arcades. Whatever the name of the new one is, the enchantment one.
Estrid?
Yeah.
I like it less now that I know there's a Judge promo.
The Judge promo is starting to move back up a little bit, but it's actually been trending down for years.
I mean, like, if you need it, if you want an Argothian Enchantress for your deck and you want a foil one, just buy it. But it's not a card that I want to spend like $30 or $40 on foils. Like,
Well, the Eternal Masters version, by the way, the market price for a foil is under $10.
It is.
It's a 2x multiplier.
Below a 2x. Yeah.
Below a 2x multiplier.
But that's also because it's a master set and there's a foil in every pack. Like master sets foils just suck.
I agree. It was a mythic. It could be in the commander deck, I guess. But I would say if you want one, buy it now. The foil. If you don't want one and you want to speculate on this, and it is not in the commander set, I think Eternal Masters non-foil versions are probably reasonable. I don't know what the upside would be. I have not really looked into it outside of just listening to this email.
It probably goes like from 8 to like 13 or so.
Well, it's $5 right now. It's $5.50.
It probably goes to 5 to 10.
Yeah, that seems good.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
All right, so I'm going to go with Heartless Summoning. This card has
that's one of my bulk rare specs.
We were calling that like
how can this be a bulk rare spec? Shouldn't you have sold out of
bulk for 2 years?
Shouldn't you have sold out of them in 2016?
I sold out of most of them. I didn't get rid of all of them.
Okay, so Heartless Summoning.
A flash. Like that went up and then died real quick.
It was like a weekend, yeah. So Heartless Summoning was a bulk rare for years and years and years, and then it hit 2016 Eldrazi Winter. But the beginning of Eldrazi Winter, the first version of Eldrazi that found success, was like a black-white processors list.
No, it was just mono-black.
Mono-black, sure. Mono-black processors that used Heartless Summoning to cheat out the Eldrazi, right?
And used Urborg to turn Ayalugan into a swamp.
The card's always been suspicious, right?
Right. It's always been a card that's just wait. But the point is, it spiked, but then people realized, oh, that's actually the worst way to build Eldrazi. And it died, and then Eldrazi Winter ended as the cards got banned, etc. And it fell back down to $1. Well, since then, it's climbed back up to $1.50, $1.75 here, and is showing a little bit of movement up. So, I don't think that this card is going... I don't see any reason it would go crazy tomorrow or anything like that. I suppose it's even possible it could end up in a commander deck at some point in the future. Blah, blah, blah. But it does have a lot going for it, and it's just one of those cards that has such a powerful, sort of fundamentally broken effect that it's never, at least feels like it's never far away from, going on another run like it did then. And the fact that it's shown some natural growth back up to 2 with nothing driving it is a real good sign to me about getting in on it now. And this may not pop in a month, may not pop in a year, may not ever pop, but if it does, it's going to pop hard.
The upside is so, high for such a low, investment.
Yeah, no reprints.
And there's no impetus for them to reprint it now. So,
it's just a card.
If this deck goes crazy just in the next year or so, then that's when their timetable starts to, we need to get this in the works to maybe throw it in a deck somewhere.
Right. Like, the only thing I could see... I mean, it could reasonably end up in any number of things, but it's not one I would be particularly worried. It could end up in something that wants to push a ramp format. It could end up in a commander deck sort of doing that thing. All those things could happen, but that's sort of true of a lot of cards, but there's no real reason for them to reprint this.
I like it. Thumbs up.
I don't like it. Can I go on record and say that I think it's terrible?
You can.
Can you explain why?
No, I just want to I want to occasionally oppose one of your specs so that when it doesn't pan out, they'll be like, well, Jason said on the podcast. Because what do I get if I agree with you? Nothing. I don't get any credit if you're... I don't get any credit if you're right and I agree with you. But if you're wrong and I oppose you, I'll look like a genius. But
this was my logic.
If you're right and I'm wrong to oppose you, no one will remember I even said anything. I'll be like, I'm pretty sure they all liked it. So you know what? You're an idiot.
All right, fair enough. Your turn.
It's a bad pick. Okay, this is a card that has 1.1 printings. I will call it, because what is the ratio of Commander Anthology to regular Commander?
I don't know the answer.
Low-ish.
I don't know that either. Maybe it's like 1.05 printings. This is from Commander 2014, and then it's in the Commander Anthology. This is a card that I think with the Jund Land Matters deck is gonna... okay. No! Titania Protector of Argoth.
Yeah. That one could easily be in the deck, though.
It could be, yeah.
That's one you gotta watch out for.
I don't think it's in the deck.
Why not? Price or
because Jason's the guy that leaked the stuff. So
well, guess what? Okay, here it's okay. Jund is Tuesday, which for you is 2 days ago, and for or
3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, if you are a patron and you go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, you have the episode already. It's Thursday for you, right? So Tuesday is Jund Day. You already know whether Titania was reprinted. So I guess we're just confounding the spreadsheet people. Look, if this is in the deck, oh, maybe they won't spoil it because they only showed the new cards. Ooh, so I guess nobody knows. You know what? Do you want to wait a week on this?
I mean, you're allowed to talk about it. You can do whatever you want, but
I really like this, but maybe we just wait. Because here's what I like to do with my EDH specs. Just wait. And I like to wait like 2 weeks until EDH Rec has data about what people are actually building. What I'll do before EDH Rec has data is I'll go to like all the sites where people submit the decks where we scrape, and I'll go to like MTG Salvation, and I'll go to Reddit and see what everyone's building, because like you start to see some cards, like everyone's talking about the Jund deck, everyone's like, I want Splendid Reclamation. Well, Splendid Reclamation's a card that I called a while ago when it was way cheaper than it is now, and that's a thing, but like, is that a decent candidate to be in the deck? You just wait till everything's out, and you wait to see what people are actually building. Because, look, everyone thought Waiting in the Weeds was a slam dunk, because, it's kitty cats, it makes cats, but none of the 3 commanders in that cats deck actually worked with Waiting in the Weeds at all. So everybody that waited to, like, buy the stuff that actually went with the Miri, which was, like, the Dueling Grounds deck, or the Nazal, which was the, like, Voltron deck, you know, everyone that waited sort of made their specs a little better, and then everyone's got a pile of Waiting in the Weeds. So maybe you want to wait on Titania. You guys seem to think it's a reprint, but like there's all kind of stuff that for the Jund Matters deck. I like Burgeoning below $7. So I can easily call that. I don't think that's going to get reprinted because Burgeoning was just reprinted in Commander 2016? The one with the shield, that was 2016?
They're all kind of shields, but yes.
Yeah. So, like, Conspiracy and Commander 2016 happened, like, within, like, what, 18 months of each other?
They were within, like, 3 months of each other.
Oh, was it the same year?
Yeah,
Burgeoning got down to, like, $3. I don't hate Burgeoning under 7 right now. I think that's going way up. Tatiova's still a deck people are playing. I think people are going to see whatever else is in this Jund Land Matters deck, whether it's the Gitrog Monster or Angry Omnath or, like, a new 3-color thing that isn't necessarily the Planeswalker that people want to build around. Burgeoning's just always a card that it just lets you cheat. If you're playing a really land-rich type deck, Burgeoning is better than a Mana Rock on turn 1 because, like, you're going to... If you have 3 lands in your opener, you're going to play them all on a turn cycle. So, Burgeoning is... It's dumb to be as cheap as it is. I wish I'd bought more Explorations when that got reprinted and that got cheap. So... We'll come back around to Tatiova, and not Tatiova, Titania. We'll talk about Titania in a week or two, but I had Burgeoning locked and loaded as a card that I really like also, so let's put that on the spreadsheet. Let's say any Burgeoning under 7 just seems like a slam dunk, because there's so much land matter stuff, and it seems like they're starting to print stuff like Tatiova in the new sets that's just like, get those landfall triggers. So, yeah, get those landfall triggers. Play a land on someone else's turn. Make a beast. Put a counter on all your Avenger Zendikar stuff. Like, do stuff on their turn. I like it.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a professional. You can pivot.
Sure. DJ, what do you got?
You come with a bad pick, you can come with a good pick right after it.
My pick is boring as fuck. It's Rattle Change there. If you don't know why I'm picking Rattle Chains, then you're bad at this and you shouldn't listen to this podcast.
No, because we haven't really talked about that deck per se.
Well, that just means that they're relying on us entirely for their financial. Then they just haven't checked like MTG stocks at all, and they just don't know their card prices. So
yeah, a lot of people just they want basic finance advice from. Yeah, that's a good
Spirits
point.
have been going up. Supreme Commander or some shit.
Supreme Phantom.
Sure, Supreme Phantom.
Well, there were 2 really good spirit cards in M19.
Yeah,
I think
and
there was one really good spirit card and one okay spirit card.
Well, I kind of think Supreme Phantom's the okay one.
No, well, the list that did well at the Star City last weekend was not running any remorseful cleric. It was, however, running for Supreme Phantoms. Like
Didn't
Supreme
have him in the
Phantom is
board?
insane. It did not have him
Mausoleum
in the
Wonder and Selfless Spirit both jumped, and this is a card that has been sitting in bulk ribbons for at least a year and a half now.
Spirits is real, everybody.
Rattle Change is going to be like a $2 or $3 card, and then it's boring, but it's going to.
Spirits is a good deck. So I agree. That's a great pick. All that. I mean, Spellcaller is like the best card. I don't know. I haven't looked at it financially in a while.
Spellqueller's kind of dumb. Like, what are you doing making Spellqueller?
Spellcaller is quite good. That's true.
Like, you didn't have to make that. Like, people would have still bought Magic cards if you hadn't made that card. It's like, don't worry, you don't have to make that to sell packs.
Well, I remember when that card got previewed, that was just like, wait, this is the best card in the set, and it's day one. Like,
the card isn't. Yeah, but then they printed Emrakul.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, they printed Aetherworks Marvel to. He's like, wait, I don't.
Well, that was in Colin Dash.
Treasure Nabber. That's the. I'm calling it right now. We've seen maybe 10% of the set. I'm calling Treasure Nabber.
I agree. I agree. It's sweet.
The spell queller of this set. It's like, for real? That's what you're... Okay. They promised a higher power level. Gavin was all in on this set. He tweeted about the team that worked on this. There were a couple people that worked on every stage of the development of the set too. They passed it on to a different team, and there were a couple people that worked on multiple stages of it. Like, people took a deck and took ownership of the deck. There were like 4 leads on it. So like, I think Gavin took the Esper deck and just like, that was what he worked. So you will notice that these decks play against each other as well as any precons in the past, but these will smoke the precons from last year.
My store is doing a sealed tournament with these as a release event. It'd be pretty fun. The
MSRP went up by $5, I believe, but I think the reprint value is probably going to go up by $20. The pre-prices adjusting reprint value. I think it'll go down, obviously, but I think they're going to be like, well, we can't put $70 worth in this deck, but like, well, we can now that we're charging whatever
45,
45, yeah,
40 or 45 instead of 35. I think it's 40 instead of 35. I don't know.
It is.
Yeah. $39.99 instead of $34.99. Yeah, so they're
sky's falling.
Well, no, they are doing that to justify, because we talked about how there were certain cards that, like, when this is a $25 card, you can't. Some
people did not like that they increased the MSRP on it, but also inflation's a thing, tariffs are a thing. Steel yourselves, everybody. A pack price MSRP increase is coming. I don't know when, but it's been forever since they did it last time, and I guarantee you inflation's gone up 20% since then.
But if they give you another $35 in value, people would still bitch that MSRP went up $4. So it's just
it probably hasn't gone up 20%, but inflation has risen faster than the cost of a booster pack.
Yep. And Hasbro is looking to Magic to be their workhorse.
Well, I mean, it's good. It's
Transformers is eating, because apparently when you make like a King Arthur Transformers movie with Marky Mark in it, like, the brand doesn't do well. Apparently no one wants a King Arthur Transformers toys. Who knew? What? Right. No, say hi to your mother for me.
Anything else you guys
Transformers aren't selling. That's wicked retarded. I would literally beat you until you're blind.
I love Marky Mark, man.
Whatever.
He's an actor in one of the best movies ever made. Can you guess what it is, Jason?
Can I guess what you think is one of the best movies ever made?
Correct. A movie that Marky Mark is in that I would love.
That you would love?
Yeah.
Is it something on the Disney Channel? I don't know.
No. It's like a real movie.
That you would love. I think his best work ever was Boogie Nights, and he said that was his worst role.
Right, yeah. But like, I obviously would have a very...
I'm Catholic now. I can't believe I showed my fake penis. I'm really sorry, Bishop.
I want to know if you can guess what I like Marky Mark in. It's not Transformers. It's not a Transformers movie.
I can't guess.
Well, okay. The answer is The Happening. We talked about it last week.
What? No. Marky Mark is a scientist? Well, I'm actually just a high school biology teacher. I still don't buy that.
For what it's worth, I actually also like the other guys that Marky Mark is in. That movie's pretty funny.
Oh, with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine, but that was just good writing.
I agree. I mean, certainly. Yeah. Anyways, The Happening was the. We talked about it last week. How I love that movie.
Oh, we did.
Anyways.
And that's available on After Hours. If you're a patron at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, you can have access to some of the stuff that. There's some stuff we talked about tonight that definitely didn't make the.
There was some After Hours in the middle of this episode.
There's some After Hours here. So what we do is we get good clips and then some stuff that. Hey, you're only going to want to listen to if you're a dedicated fan of the brand and you want to hear us.
Or they're just a little offensive.
We only trust you to listen to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've proven your dedication.
So, how do we get on the topic of Marky Mark? I lost the thread. Normally I can find my way back, but Transformers? Yeah, Transformers.
There you go. Anyways, everybody, thank you for listening. Jason, DJ, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Say hi to your mother for me. I was in The Departed.
Magic's dead.
Magic is dead, and if you want to see Magic dying while I play Spirits with the new cards, you can check that out on tcgplayer.com. Or
Magic came home to its
YouTube.
apartment, and Marky Mark was waiting with booties on and a silenced pistol, and it was like, what? Oh, okay. And then Marky Mark shot Magic in the head, and then you just turn behind where Marky Mark was standing, and you see the Capitol building. You're like, oh, that's Beacon Hill, the Capitol. He aspired to that. That is a good metaphor. Scorsese just really did it with the symbolism, and then a second later, a rat runs across the balcony, and you're like, fuck you, Scorsese. Do you really think I'm that dumb? Do you really think
I haven't seen this
that
movie.
stupid that you needed to do that with the rat? You think I don't get? You ruined the best shot of the movie, you idiot. You
Martin Scorsese is definitely an idiot.
Moron.
Good call. Maybe I'll watch this movie now just to judge that one scene.
He ruined his. If I'd have had to pee a little bit more, I would have liked that movie forever.
Because you wouldn't have seen that one part.
I wouldn't have seen. I was like, there's no after credit. What is this, Marvel? You wait for the after credit scene and it's Marky Mark playing the drums. And you're like, oh no, I'm an idiot. That was in the movie. Why did I wait through the whole credits to see something that was in the movie?
I guess maybe I'll watch this movie.
No, it was Ant-Man. I was referring to Ant-Man and Wasp.
Well, that sounds like an airplane movie.
Wow, that's harsh.
I mean,
I watched the mid-credit scene.
Still haven't seen Black Panther. I'm pretty bad at this.
Whoa, racist.
I know. I have not had planes recently with TVs on them. It's been very unlucky.
You know you're allowed to see places other than airplanes. Is that like an old common thing? It's like, gosh, can't wait to fly on one of the flies so I can finally see.
I wish I had money to.
Goodfellas.
I wish I had the time and to just go to movies for fun.
Yeah, you give your kid a Benadryl and then you just go to
leave him in the car. Go on.
Leave him in the car.
Oh, okay. In Oklahoma.
Crack a window.
It was 113 degrees yesterday.
Was it 113 degrees in the shade with the window cracked? Put an ice pack on him.
It was 113 degrees and it was so miserable.
Oh boy.
God, I hate the weather here.
It rained a little today. We got some much needed rain. It was nice.
I'm going to be in Minneapolis for a week and a half. Starting this weekend, so I'll get out of some of the worst of the weather here at the beginning of August.
That's good, man. It'll be fine.
Anyways, all right, everybody. This is Brainstorm Brewery. We'll see you next week, and we can find out how wrong we were about everything in Commander 2018.
Commander 2019.
My bad.
Right? Because M19 is. What's up, nerds? Just here with a quick note. Episode 300 is coming up basically as soon as we finish it, and we'd like your help. What we would like is for you to tell us your favorite memories from the last 300 episodes of Brainstorm Brewery. Ideally, you tell us the episode. Even more ideally, you tell us the timestamp when the audio clip started so we can isolate it. But if you just want to tell us your favorite episode, or your favorite memory from the past 300 episodes, we're going to get that incorporated into the episode 300 special. That will be coming out hopefully before episode 400, but that's maybe not realistic. We'd like to get it done in the next couple of weeks. And another thing to remind you all of, if you are a patron who subscribes at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, go ahead and send us an audio clip if you'd like, and we'll play your dumb voice on the podcast. How would you like that? Would that be cool? All right, so go ahead and get those sent to brainstormbrewery@gmail.com, and we will get those incorporated into the episode 300. Thanks so much for listening and supporting us, for being patrons, for just being YouTube supporters and finger blasting that bell icon for us, buying squatty potties and whatnot. You guys are the best fans in podcasting. Here's to another 300 episodes. Thanks so much.